Glad you could join the Q&A today with Innovators and hashtag Black STEAM. I'm Gerard. Let's get inspired. All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody. My name is Gerard Buckner. I am part of the Discovery Outreach team for the Mortgage Institute Research. Today, I will be interviewing Senior Assistant Dean Thomas Browne, who we've done work with in the past on different MLK and Black History Month things. So it's really good to be able to connect with you again and do this again. Obviously doing virtual now with our times in life. For the audience at home, while we're having this conversation, please feel free to start some more conversation using the hashtag BlackSteam. We will be sure if any questions pop up that we will get them to Senior Assistant Dean Thomas Browne, and we'll be able to get get your questions answered as soon as possible. So with that being said, Assistant Dean, would you care to do a little introduction of yourself and we'll get our conversation started?
Yeah, thanks, Jared. Good morning and hello, everyone. Again, as was mentioned, my name is Tom Browne, and I'm an Assistant Dean in the Office of Academic Affairs in the College of Agricultural and Life Sciences, or CALS, at UW-Madison. It's my pleasure to be here. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I've been in this role for about 15 years, so getting a little bit long in the tooth in this role, but I love what I do, and I like these kind of activities in particular. I am a graduate of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, doing my undergraduate and my graduate work here as well. So I showed up here in 1987, grew up in Milwaukee, and I haven't left, like so many people. So happy to share any of my experiences with you all today.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you already basically answered my first question. It was going to be, where are you from? You already answered that. So I guess my question with that is, how was Milwaukee growing up?
Yeah, just like a lot of, students from Milwaukee, I grew up, I'm from a family of seven, and I'm fifth out of that order. And so, I grew up right in the inner city of Milwaukee, in the Washington Park, Sherman Park area. And I, I'm the first one from my family to have gone to college, but all of my family members, I've got a lot of cousins and friends, who are doing great things. Milwaukee is a great place. I know it gets a bad rap a lot of times about things that are going on there, but I love my hometown, and I was motivated by my family, to try to do something that others in my family hadn't been able to do. I was fortunate. Again, I've got older siblings who weren't able to go to college. I was fortunate enough to play sports. I did football, and so that was my ticket to sort of get to UW-Madison and be able to take advantage of getting an education at the same time. So I count myself, privileged, and the ability to have an inroad to be able to get to this place, and understanding that others may not have been as lucky as I was to get that opportunity. So, I like to give back and provide as many experiences and encouragement to press on towards those goals that people have.
That's awesome. That's an amazing story. It's awesome that you also are able to kind of point out those privileges too. I feel like some people are kind of nervous of doing that and be honest about it. So that's really cool to see. How are you overcoming the challenges from COVID-19 personally and work-wise and stuff?
Yeah, it's been a difficult transition, but I look at it as the pandemic has been hard on everyone, and we would love to be doing the things that we're normally doing, going out, seeing family, whatever that may be, but people are losing their lives, and I respect and honor the lives that have been lost during this time, and if there's anything I can do to try to prevent that spread or to provide education, I'm happy then to be working virtually in that space. I'm fortunate again that I do have that luxury to be able to work virtually. So I've been doing all of my student appointments. I've been doing all of my meetings, doing any teaching or advising that I've been doing. I've been able to do it all virtually. And so it's been actually a blessing to have to learn all of the technology and means to do my job. I'm in this kind of space, but I feel like it's in the long run, if I can still do my work and still serve students while trying to stop the spread as much as possible, then I'm going to do that as long as I need to.
And kind of back to your, excuse me, back to your profession, like what was your journey, starting college up until now to become a dean?
Yeah, I've got to make a long story short, again, growing up in Milwaukee, I went to a school where, again, as I was thinking about going to college, if I was going to go to college, I was going to make it worth my while. So, what's a job that you can do that you're going to make money and make it worth my while? And so I think, told my guidance counselor at the time, well, I want to be a doctor. And he kind of laughed and said, well, I think you ought to do something a little bit easier. And so that was meaningful for me because that was one of my first real roadblocks of having someone kind of indicate that I don't think you can do what it is that you want to do. And so from that day, I decided I wanted to be a guidance counselor because I wanted to be able to do a better job than that person and be able to help, other students in a way that I didn't feel helped. And so I really had a strong desire to be in education. At that point, I wasn't sure. Again, I wanted to be a counselor or a teacher or something. I settled on wanting to be a counselor. And as you may know, those of you who are maybe thinking about education, education isn't the most well-paid profession, or it's not always in some places the most diverse place either. But it's something that was always ingrained in me that this is the way I felt like I wanted to give back, through teaching, through advising, through counseling, and providing my life experiences for people. But it hasn't been easy because again, there are a lot of classes that I had to do where I might have been the only person of color sitting in there. And especially in the field of education, you have to read a lot of research about how bad schools are and how the differences between students and who are white or who are from black populations, and having to see all these theories about why those differences happen and trying to make sense of all that, and sometimes seeing things that you don't agree with and having to speak up in those regards when it may not be the popular opinion. And so I had to form my own set of beliefs in the way I do things, and it's worked out for me in the long run.
Well, yeah, again, kind of answered my next question. My next question was going to be like, what does it mean to you to be Black in this work of education and being a dean and helping students?
Yeah, I recognize, especially now that I've become a dean, I spent a number of years again as a high school guidance counselor, as an advisor, and in those positions, there's a little bit more, not much. There's a little bit more, ethnic or gender diversity within those fields. But in administration, what I'm in now, I'm the only one that I believe is in our department that's a person of color, and so it's noticeable. I've had some feedback in the past that maybe the only reason that I'm in this position is for affirmative action reasons or to fill quotas. And so you feel that sometimes, and so it does cause yourself to question sometimes. Do I really have what it takes to do this work? Am I really here on my own merit? And the only thing I can go back to is, what, I worked hard to learn, what I need to do to be a strong professional and to do the job. I have the confidence in my abilities to know that I can do this work as well as anyone. And there's a reason I'm here. And so you just have to go back to what it is that gives you confidence, that gives you strength, and to know what the truth is
Mm.
in your lives. And so I have to go back, and sometimes as I've gotten older, it's gotten easier. But when I was younger, yeah, it was a challenge to kind of struggle with, you've heard of imposter syndrome and things like that. As an administrator, there just aren't that many administrators of color, particularly around campus. And so I try to network with the other ones who are, in positions like I am so that we can, compare notes and encourage each other. But, you have to form your own path too and be comfortable in your skin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely say I've been through those situations too, where like you question like, am I really here because I need to be here, or am I here because they just need to fill their agenda? And like, yeah, understanding that like at the end of the day, as long as you do your job correctly, you're doing your job correctly, you're meant to be there. So I've been told that multiple times by my team because they're so supportive.
Yeah.
um, and oh yeah, my next question was going to be like, as like somebody who may be in high school right now, or even just starting their college career, if they wanted to become a dean, like what was that process? What were those classes you took, and like how long was that journey?
Yeah, there actually isn't a real straight path for getting there, and mine was really roundabout. I would say that certainly being in the field of education and higher education and some form of administration is a pathway for getting those experiences. But really, I'm a social scientist by trade. My background is in sociology as an undergraduate, and then I went to graduate school in counseling psychology to be a licensed counselor. And so my pathway was in advising and counseling and working with students in that way. And so in those positions, I was able to lead programs and develop programs that then help my skill set to eventually move into administration. From a high school perspective, again, something I wish somebody had told me back then is I struggled to find purpose in, why am I doing math class? Why am I doing, English and science classes? It's all for the critical thinking and just how you apply things to the real world. And I found that I could draw from every class that I took to be able to think critically and think fast is really an important thing. I have to make decisions sometimes, on the spur of a moment. And if you can't think critically, it's a difficult piece of the job. And with everything, though, you got to be able to communicate. It doesn't help you to have, great ideas if you can't communicate, and that's verbally and with writing. And so I would strongly encourage you all to develop those communication skills, writing, speaking. I know not everyone is, comfortable getting up in front of a group and sharing their ideas, but you have to be able to do that. Like I said, there's probably too many great ideas that die on the floor without even being presented because people haven't, stepped forward to be able to present their ideas in an effective way. So those English classes, those communication classes, take advantage of those.
Awesome. And again, you are killing the game. Like it's like exactly what my next question is going to be. My last question was, what advice do you have for the younger generation that you may have inspired today?
Yeah, I would just say, do a lot of exploration. Don't have your minds made up. Like I said, I didn't really know what I wanted to explore when I was younger. I was just thinking about, a good job that pays well. But when you get into this professional world, just having, money or whatever it is isn't enough. You have to be able to get up and find purpose, for what you're doing. And so whatever it is that gives you purpose, and you can tell, back, when you're in high school, you can tell, what it is that gives you purpose. There's a career in that for you. And I will put in a plug again. We're talking about STEM or STEAM, and there's a lot of need in these areas of whether it's natural sciences or health or even social sciences like I'm in. We need different perspectives and different ideas because these issues affect everyone in the communities we live in, and we need people who are researchers. And so I would put in a plug for that, but follow your passion, whatever that is, and find out what it takes, to get to know people, find out what it takes to be good in that profession, and don't let anyone steer you off that path.
Wow, that was great. I learned a lot today because I actually wanted to be a guidance counselor. Kind of some of the same story. Like my high school guidance counselor, I don't think was necessarily the best, and that motivated me. But my path ended up turning out to be pretty different. So it was really great talking to you today and learning these different things and like learning more about the university. It's awesome to see some representation in the university, and I hope it continues to grow, especially as somebody that is on the university as much as you are as well. It's always really cool to see somebody else that looks like you, and to see that grow slowly but surely makes it so much more comfortable and so much more exciting to be there and work there. So did you have anything else for us today?
No, I just want to thank you for the time to be able to present, and thanks for putting together this great program. And you all do great work in working with students, and I'm just happy to be a part of things. And I wish everyone who's watching the very best this year. Stay safe, and take advantage of these kind of opportunities.
Yes, absolutely. Audience, please, 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 create the conversation. Hashtag Black Steam on all social media platforms. Again, I will be sure to check those and get those questions, and we'll be getting back to you as soon as possible if there's any other conversation you'd like to have around this conversation and all of our other conversations, because we will be celebrating Black innovation all month long. Saturday Science is going to be our big deal on February 20th, where we'll be also be able to get some students and youth involved, just some hands-on activities. So please stay tuned. Thank you for joining. Have a good day, everyone.